Picture this. It's the early 1980s in San Francisco. A man in a sharp suit is holding his toddler son, who is fast asleep. They quietly lock themselves inside the restroom of a subway station. This isn't a brief stop. This is where they're sleeping for the night. The man, Chris Gardner, wedges his foot against the door and uses his briefcase as a pillow, crying silently as his son sleeps on his lap. This gut-wrenching moment is just one of many from Gardner's incredible memoir, The Pursuit of Happyness. This book is the true story behind the famous Will Smith movie, and it's a raw, unfiltered look at one man's climb from the absolute bottom to the top of Wall Street. It's a story about resilience, but it's really driven by three powerful ideas. First, the brutal reality of chasing a dream while homeless. Second, the unbreakable bond between a father and son. And third, the sheer, unstoppable power of believing in yourself when no one else does. Let's start with the reality of Gardner's situation, which was far grittier than you might imagine. While he was an unpaid intern at the prestigious brokerage firm Dean Witter, he was secretly homeless. Every day, he'd put on his one good suit and project an image of a confident, up-and-coming professional. But every evening at 5 o'clock, he had to race out of the office, grab his son from daycare, and sprint across town to get in line at a homeless shelter, hoping they'd have a bed. If they didn't, the bus, a park bench, or that subway bathroom was their only option. He had to carry all his worldly possessions with him every single day. This wasn't just poverty, it was a constant, high-stakes logistical nightmare where one misstep could mean losing everything. Second, this story is fundamentally about a father's love. Gardner's own father was absent, and he made a promise to himself that his son, Chris Jr., would always have a dad to count on. That promise was his fuel. The book's famous title, with the misspelling of happiness, came from a sign outside his son's daycare. For Gardner, seeing that word every day was a constant reminder of what he was fighting for, not just money, but a life of stability and security for his child. He wasn't just pursuing success, he was pursuing his son's happiness, and in doing so, finding his own. Finally, there's the power of unwavering self-belief and sheer hustle. Before Wall Street, Gardner was selling heavy, bulky bone density scanners, a venture that ultimately failed and left him broke. But when he saw a man in a red Ferrari, he didn't feel envy, he felt curiosity. He walked up to the man and asked him two simple questions. What do you do, and how do you do it? That man was a stockbroker, and that moment changed Gardner's life. He decided, with no college degree and no connections, that he would become one too. He was relentless, making 200 cold calls a day. He even solved a Rubik's Cube in the back of a cab to impress a potential mentor, proving his intelligence and resourcefulness on the spot. He simply refused to believe that his circumstances defined his potential. In the end, The Pursuit of Happyness is more than a rags-to-riches story. It's a testament to the idea that you can create your own destiny, no matter how dire the starting point. The key takeaway isn't about a career in finance. It's about the promise Gardner made to himself that his children would always know who their father was. It teaches us that true success is about defining your purpose and protecting your dream, period. If you were inspired by Gardner's journey of overcoming immense obstacles, you might also enjoy Educated by Tara Westover or Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. Find more great summaries and reading guides at booksplat.com. Level up yourself today, 3 minutes at a time.